but the president is the one who gets to define the limit and scope of the duties of the personnel within his office. That is very clear from Article 2 of the Constitution.
Will the gentlelady yield for a question on that?
Yes.
But I assume you've read the Chief Justice's opinion in Trump versus United States. And if so, are you saying that this decision was wrongly decided in distinguishing between core functions of the president, where his discretion is indeed absolute, as you suggest, the official acts that are not within his core functions, where Chief Justice Roberts says that's subject to a balancing test, and then private and unofficial acts where he doesn't get to define it all, that's up to the court?
We're not talking about immunity. We're talking about something entirely different.
Well,
it's about who gets to define, who defines, and I think—
But that's precisely what they did with respect to immunity.
It's the gentlelady's time.
Okay.
When you read the decision, they did not strip the president of the ability to define or limit the scope
Yes, they did.
the duties of the personnel within
They
his
said
office.
if it's private and unofficial, the court will know it. And that's exactly what this is about. If you rob a bank, you can't say that's part of my duties because I'm trying to reform the CFPB.
And that's not what he's saying. When you're defining or limiting the scope of the duties of an official within the executive branch official of the executive office of the president, all we're trying to do is prevent the violation of the separation of powers, as I've indicated. And I
No, you're
disagree
trying to
with you.
strip the court of substantive jurisdiction over the president's powers, and you can't do that. It's emphatically the province and the duty of the judicial department to say what the law is,
That
including
isn't
over
what
the
this
president.
says. That is not what this provision says.
Well, if it doesn't, what does it say then? What does it mean to say no court may define or limit the scope of the duties of an official of the executive office of the president?
The executive office, the president has the ability to define the scope of the individuals that work within, the scope and the duties of the individuals that work in his office.
So that could
is
include
not for-
criminal
That is
actions.
not for a state court or a federal court to define.
So that could include criminal actions.
That is absolutely an absurdity to even
Well,
make
then
that
you're not reading
allegation.
Chief Justice Roberts' opinion. That's what it's all about. How do we constrain executive power? And you're saying you can't constrain executive power because the executive power is vested in the president. But that's a
executive branch.
tautology. But that's just a
is.
tautology. The legislative power is vested in Congress, but that doesn't mean we can do whatever we want. We can't violate people's rights.
The gentlelady's time has expired.